us?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Since everybody's getting a chance to log on and most people watch this on recording anyways, let's just dive right in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Virtual Career Day series. My name is Josh Walker. I'm an architect coming to you live from where else? My home, because like you, we're learning and working from home these days. If this is your first time joining us, this is our effort at HKS to introduce you to one of the largest architecture firms in the world and the many people it takes to make it happen. We design everything from stadiums to skyscrapers, hotels to hospitals. We have over 1,000 people from all industries to make it happen. Architects, accountants, interior designers, engineers, human resources researchers, and everything in between. There's a place and a role for everybody. So far, we've talked with, take a deep breath here, Sustainability Engineer Mike Brown, Director of Justice, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Giselle Santos Rivera, Architect Adeze Kade, Interior Designer Delia Schlois, Architectural Photographer Daryl Shields, and Design Director Dan Flower. That's a lot of people, and they're all available on our Instagram TV right now. You should go check them all out. But this week, we're talking to a career writer and editor, Julie Wellik. Julie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
We're thrilled to have you. I want to start with the same question I start with everybody. If you go back to your high school days, what did your career path look like? What did you think you would do?
I had no career path, Josh. I wanted to play professional tennis, and I was an average student and had really no path that I was thinking of. And in fact, I almost joined the Marine Corps after high school. I thought it would give me some structure and some discipline.
Okay. So how did you end up in where you are if you thought you would end up in the Marine Corps?
Good question. I decided I wanted to continue playing tennis after high school. And so I enrolled in the local junior college, and I had to take some classes, right? So I took a film class, and I thought it'll be fun to critique and watch movies all day. But I did have to produce some actual work. So I wrote a paper, and the college professor said, you know, you're a decent writer. And I was shocked, and I said, thanks. And I took that tiny bit of encouragement and just ran with it. And so I enrolled in a four-year university. I was the editor of my college newspaper, city editor, and wound up with a bachelor's degree in journalism and a minor in political science.
Interesting. So where did you want to go with writing? And then I guess as an extension of that question, how did you end up doing architectural writing?
Yeah, it's a winding path. I wanted to be a sports writer, actually. And out of college, I, for a very short time, was what they call a stringer for the Associated Press. And I was covering baseball in the Bay Area. And frankly, at that time in the late 80s, it was a very difficult time for women to be in the locker room. It was pretty salty and misogynist, and I couldn't stick with it. And that's probably my one career regret. But following that, I was able to hook on with a public relations firm and use my writing skills to produce press releases and all kinds of marketing communications content for our clients. Okay.
And so from there, you landed at HKS?
Yeah. So what happened was, after I spent many years in public relations, and I loved the variety. There was all types of different clients. And when I decided to have a family, I went to work for myself. I became a marketing communications consultant, and it gave me a lot of flexibility to work from home and raise my family. And one of my clients, in fact, was a hospitality design firm that was acquired by HKS in 2007. So HKS was actually my client before I came in-house in 2001.
Okay. All right, the pieces are falling into place.
There you go.
And you mentioned the variety. Is that what you enjoy about writing? Is that what drew you to it?
That's truly what is wonderful about HKS. I love the variety of journalism and writing about something new every day. And because we have such an amazing variety of project types, I am challenged every day, learn something from you guys as designers all the time. And it is fascinating and really exciting. I love it.
I'm glad. We enjoy having you, of course. Now, what does it take if somebody wants to pursue a career like yours, education-wise? And then what does it take to be good at writing and working with complicated designers?
Sure. So I think what are good degrees would be anything in the humanities, marketing, communication,
Mhm.
public relations, journalism. I think since I was in school, there are probably a lot more specialized paths toward um, working in marketing communications, but that's kind of the general bucket of it. So literature, English, anything along those lines are great paths for writers. And, to get good at writing, I would say you have to be a tough critic on yourself, and also, be willing to take criticism, throw out bad drafts,
Mhm.
be willing to really refine your craft and your writing to get it right so it resonates when other people read it.
That's funny. That's exactly what the advice we get when we go into being architects. Is you have to be willing to take criticism and be, iterative, be
Right.
creative, allow that process because nobody gets it perfect on the first draft.
That's right.
But
And what's interesting about working with architects is, you guys think about what goes into the building. And as writers, we need to describe what that building does for people and
Mhm.
community. So
Right.
it's kind of translating, the technical jargon or the language that you guys speak in and make it resonate for a variety of audiences.
That's true. I think that's a dirty secret of architecture is how much jargon we allow ourselves to embrace.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we learn it all in school and we make up half of it. Now, I am curious about something that we briefly touched on with Dan Flower last week, and I'm curious about your perspective on this because he talked about a project that's near and dear to his heart, and I hear it's near and dear to yours. So I want to hear about this collaboration, specifically the Kachambala Maternity Ward. From what they tell me, you played a pretty major role in that job and similar work at HKS. Can you tell me about what those projects are and how you became involved?
Yeah, absolutely. It was really a happy accident, I have to say, how I got involved with Citizen HKS. But working with Dan and a team on the Kachambala Maternity Unit, I was able to craft the promotional materials, writing fundraising materials. We did raise as a firm $50,000 to help for the completion and construction of that project. I got to travel to Uganda for the opening, an absolute thrill of my life. But Citizen HKS is the vehicle in which Kachumbala and other projects come to life. It is our public interest design initiative that was started in 2014. And the happy accident is that I got to work with the team to develop the marketing materials to start promoting that initiative within our firm and outside. So that's
Okay.
5 years now, and we have 5 or 6 completed projects and really a lot more, many exciting ones on the boards.
Okay, so Citizen HKS is kind of a volunteer effort within the company. I believe you say it was signed on to or initiated in 2014.
Yeah,
What's the structure around that look like?
yeah. And so back in 2009, our former chairman, Ralph Hawkins, signed on to what was then called the 1% solution. It's called now the 1 Plus. And it was an initiative, a voluntary initiative for architecture firms to donate 1% of their hours to communities that want to design for underserved communities to do project work, public interest design projects. And so Citizen HKS is really kind of the formal structure around which we can do that work. And there's a lot of people in our firm who are involved in it and want to get involved in it. It's really exciting.
Okay, so just back of the envelope math here. 1% of the total hours of an architecture firm that's 1,200 people large, that's 12 full-time employees. We have 12 full-time employees equivalent working on volunteer work for communities that can't afford architecture at any given time.
Right. Well, we would love to have that much work at any given time. We do the beauty of HKS, a for-profit firm, being able to support this type of initiative is that, our paying jobs allow us to really have that time to give back to the communities where we live and work. And so if we had more project work, maybe we could get to that 12,000 hours. But right now we spend about 5,000 or 6,000 hours a year doing design work.
Interesting. And is that a specific team, or can anybody across the firm get involved?
Anyone in the firm can get involved. We have a project application form that a team in a city, whether it's Atlanta or Chicago, where we have projects going on right now, would connect with a nonprofit or community-based organization that's in need of design services. And then that comes before a steering committee, of which I am a part, and we vet all those projects. And when those offices can support doing that kind of work, we're able to go full steam ahead. It's really exciting. And as I said, we've got 5 or 6 projects completed in just 5 years. So it's a robust initiative within HKS.
That's really cool. So the Kachambala Maternity Ward is one of these projects. From what I hear, that's doing some really great things for communities. It didn't really have much hospital service.
Yeah, you know, Uganda and Eastern Africa, they have a high infant mortality rate, and we've been able to, with this beautiful building, really, it's not just a beautiful building; it's highly functional, and support more women who needs its services. And we have a project in Chicago called the Sensory Wellbeing Hub that opened in 2017 as well, and an urban demonstration garden in Washington, D.C., just to name a few.
Interesting. I knew about the Sensory Hub because that's near and dear to my heart as an education designer. But the garden, that one I'm going to have to look up. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, please visit our website and you'll see a variety of those projects for anyone that's out there who's interested.
Absolutely. So for everybody who needs that website, that is www.hksinc.org. .com? Correct me, Julie.
.com.
Thank you. I get that one crossed. But that is bringing us up to the end of our time. You can find all those on our website, or comment below if you found a project that you really love and you'd like to learn more about it. In the meantime, don't forget to follow this account for another interview next week. Maybe you're extremely interested in the people who work on these kinds of projects. Maybe you think that Julie's job in writing appeals to you and you want to learn more about the people she works with. Or maybe this wasn't a good fit for you and you want to see what else is out there. Either way, come back here next week. We'll have another incredible interview, and I'm looking very much forward to it. Everybody stay safe, be well, and we'll see you here. Remember to check out all the other interviews on our Instagram TV. Thanks, everybody, and thanks, Julie.
Thank you, Josh.